I am going to be pretty much opening my mind to you guys to show you how I look at products, okay, how I actually determine if items are good based off the items that you guys sent to me. I want to rewire some of our minds. I want to rewire how we think about success. I want to rewire what success in e-commerce is. I want to rewire what you're looking for, right? Whether you're someone who's doing 50 to 100K plus a month or someone who's just starting and still testing, you should still think like this. So first and foremost, you have to understand that when we're making sales and we're selling products, right, we have to realize that we have to go ahead and fulfill on that item as well, right? And what's important here is we're trying to find the happy medium between, selling as many as we can, right, and also having the best margin on every product that we sell. Okay, so the biggest thing I want to go ahead and bring up before we actually get into this, okay, is straight up margin. Okay, items that are getting $30, $40, $50 margin per sale are going to make your life 10 times easier in this industry to find massive success, right? Over the last few weeks, you've seen some of our individuals who are testing and, running ads for the first time, doing very well. And what you'll notice is the commonality is the margin, right? $30, $40, $50 profit per sale, right? And that's huge. So we want to think about getting into markets where people are already okay with paying more. Okay, if they're okay with paying more, guess how much less marketing you have to do. Okay, for example, the reason that your upsells are converting at 20, 30% using our BSF structure is because they're already sold on that item. They already know what it costs. They're already sold on it. They're going to make a quick decision. If you get into industries and markets where people are already okay with paying a little bit more money, you're going to not even have to be as an effective marketer, okay, and you could still do well. So think about that. That's number one, okay? Get into markets that you already know people will pay a bit more for. An example, okay, high quality facial cream, hair oil, things like that. People care about things like that. Pain, joints, okay? Pain, okay? Things that people need to have fixed. Things that people want to have emotionally, positive in their life, right? How they look, how they feel, etc. Okay, secondly, it is worth the extra time looking at, and if you're still in product research, look at me. The most important thing here is to realize as you move forward, it's not to rush to run ads immediately. No, spend the extra time looking for products with higher margin. I'm sitting here telling you with 10 years experience selling online, it is 10 times easier to make it and to do very, very well when you have a margin that is higher than $29, 30, 40, 50, 60 per sale. Telling you, it makes things so much easier. Same principles, same everything. Only thing that's different is we have to send out less units. And that's also a double positive for us, okay? Think about that, because higher the price, we're gonna sell less volume, but we're gonna make more, right? That's the goal here. So we established those two things. Number one, get into markets that people are already okay with paying a bit more, okay? And number two, focus on high margin items. You need to understand that those 2 points go hand in hand with the product research system, okay? And we need to understand that spending time finding products and spending time building assets, guys, that's what's going to make it or break it for you. Don't be that guy who's like, oh my God, it's been 2 weeks. I only got 15 products. Take your time. If you rush and you go to and you start launching ads out of nowhere, okay, you're not going to do well. You're not going to do well. Okay, you have to take your time, focus, and find products and really build your strategy and your system out to emulate what's already working and what we're showcasing as we're doing here in Platinum. So the reason I bring this up, right, is because I see people in all these other Facebook groups, like I always mentioned, they're brand new to e-com. As of a week, they're already running ads, right? That's not the case. Take your time, focus on products, focus on what you're looking for. That's the goal here. So let's get started today and go through this. And everyone needs to write those points down because I need to make sure everyone's on the same page. So everyone write that down. Get into markets that people are already okay with paying more and understand that if you actually have a $30, $40, $50 margin minimum, you're going to do much, much better. Okay, because it's a lot easier to do well, seriously. And every single person here should take that feedback to heart. What do we think about this? We see a $7.52 price point. Okay, we don't have many reviews. We don't have many orders. Okay, but clearly, obviously, self-defense is big, right? And is a great angle, of course. Okay, because self-defense is huge, especially in this day and age. You can have a really, really strong angle if that's going to be pro self-defense, right? So we have Alan, this functionality besides the light is already incorporated in OEM keychains. One, we have JM, good product, but low margin. Correct. Okay, good marketing angle, but way too low of a margin here. Irina says, I have a similar product. Showing houses late at night is scary, so I had to get something like this. Right. So Irina is a realtor, right, and a very successful one. Okay, and she has a product like this. And genuinely, Billy, right, we should think about that, okay? Think about who will need something like this, who we're going to be marketing to. We're not just going to market to random individuals. We have to think about who our market is, right? Because if we know who our market is, what their role is, like Irina, she's a realtor, right? We can go ahead and construct our ads and our copy to focus on those deliberate individuals involved in those spaces, right? Because when there's demand, ladies and gents, there's not just the entire, evergreen niche that's going to want your product. There's corners of the market. Okay, there's categories in each market that are going to want your product and different type of consumer avatars under each niche. So we have to go ahead and obviously figure out who that is. An item like this, we see is clearly a market, right? Clearly, self-defense for women is huge. Okay, and especially something like this where it's security, it gives them peace of mind, and God forbid something happens, there's a way out. Now, my main concerns with this are the following. One, this is available in brick and mortar, right? This is a very common item that is just commonly seen across the globe, whether it's in brick and mortar, online, what have you. Also, the pricing is way too low here. Okay. Also, in my head, I would love to see how this works. And in the one time that the women would have to use it, it better work. So ultimately, I'm not the biggest fan of this because I already kind of see based on how it's built, it's probably not the highest quality item, which is also justifying why it's such a lower price. Now, let's go ahead and think about this a bit deeper, guys. Remember what the first point I said was, let's get into markets where people are already okay with paying a bit more money. Do we think that people are going to be okay with paying a little bit more money in a market like this to get something higher quality, get something that maybe has a screen, get something that maybe actually works? What do we think about that? Do we think people are going to be willing to invest into this market to keep their wife, sister, mom, grandma, aunt, auntie safe during their real estate showings, like Irina, right? Is that something that they're going to want to spend money on here, right? So my point here is the product is not something that we want to sell. We're absolutely correct. I think 99%, I think all of us were on point with that, right? The goal and the ideology here is, but the market absolutely is something that will almost never lose popularity or demand. But there needs to be innovation here. And by innovation, what we can do at this point is we're not going to be developing the product ourselves at this point. We need to be innovative with how we look for products in this niche. Okay, so my advice to you, Billy, is love the niche, love the market. People are absolutely, guys. People are going to be buying this if you're selling it well and have the proper marketing angles, right? And put it in a proper light where it makes sense for people to go ahead and buy this and you have a good quality item, not something that looks like just a little, poopy keychain. So my advice to you, Billy, is let's look in this market for something a bit more high perceived value and a bit more expensive as well to hit the market where we're getting $30, $40, $50 minimum actual profit. Because this is a market when matched with something with a higher margin and the justification of the product to cost more as well, the niche, they're already okay with paying what they need to go ahead and acquire that good if it's what they need. What do we think about this? Okay. Yoga, leg, ankle brace support, stretching belts. Okay. Rehabilitation. Okay. Stretching. Okay. What do we think about this? What do we think about this? Okay. I'm going to break down why I like this. Okay. This is a tricky one. This is why I wanted to choose it so you guys can kind of see where we're at. Remember, okay, it's not always about, their pricing because we could sell it for what it's worth to the consumer. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, it's a strap with a Velcro thing, right? Yeah. No, we don't do listen, image ads. I'm not going to say image ads don't do well. I was running up, we did $1 million a month with image ads with our lens sphere item. Okay. But okay, from my experience, video ads have found me way more winners that have maintained way better consistency over a longer scale, way more times. Like the tactical brand's about 2.5 years old at this point, right? And that's running all video. Okay. Now, as well as others as well, all video. Everything I run is strictly video that I'm, kind of running long term. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and look at this because I don't want you just to automatically look at something. Everyone here in the chat as well, everyone had the right kind of response. Everyone was like, oh, wow, I like, good, but I want to go ahead and kind of be devil's advocate here as well. And essentially say, let's go ahead and look at this particular item. It literally looks like a piece of like strap, right? This is not something that's going to sell if you're just showcasing that with no marketing angling. Okay, but the goal here, okay, is to go ahead and realize that this is for stretching, this is for actual health. And if you can go ahead and showcase, okay, that these particular stretches promote more flexibility, better recovery, right, better muscle rehabilitation, what have you. Okay, if we could show that the exercises that are being able to be conducted with this item genuinely do well, it will genuinely help recovery, genuinely promote muscle growth. Okay, and we can prove that your marketing angle is effective and freaking strong because it's backed by science. Okay, and that's where you need to go ahead and find sources. In a product like this, that is pain-driven, recovery-driven, and body-driven, where it's already like obvious that it does help the user, and you can easily find sources on the internet that can prove that, you need to be a data and research god. Meaning, what you're going to go ahead and do is dive deep and literally find studies and proven resources that prove that this shit works. Because in your ad copy, you're going to go ahead and source. In your video, you're going to go ahead and source. You're going to source data and facts and put that throughout your description, your video, your ad copy, everything. Because data is fact. Okay, when someone reads a fact, they're more intrigued and they're going to go ahead and remember that whenever they think about the product. What you should do is you should show it being used. You should show the relief on someone's face. You should have people use it real time and give their feedback and the results on the product, right? Because this item right here, there's a reason that pain sells. There's a reason that, you know, that brand Copper does so freaking well with elbow, knee braces, etc. Because pain sells. Pain sells. Okay, and we have to realize that literally this is physical pain, which is logical. Okay, logical. Okay, you need to understand, we need a logical and emotional way to sell things to our consumers. Okay, if let's say it's the pain of not being able to, spend time with your daughter, whatever. That's pain, right? You want to build a business, do well. That's emotional pain. This is logical pain, where like your elbow freaking hurts. Okay, like it actually hurts. So logical pain, all right, is just straight up, pretty easy to go ahead and kind of hit the nail right in the head. Walk them through in the video how this is going to go ahead and ease their pain over time. And when they consistently use something like this, okay, it'll really just be better and better for them down the road. And also keep in mind, if your people, let's see who could get this here. People who use your product over and over again, what is usually higher in terms of KPI in your business? Anyone want to take a whack at that? People who use the products every single day, what tends to be higher as a KPI or stat for your business? If anyone wants to take a guess at that, I'll be impressed if you get that one right. Right. So if people who use the product every single day, they're more likely to repurchase from you again, right? Correct. Absolutely, Tim. They're more likely to repurchase from you again, right? And the goal here is to build a brand that people purchase from us again. Okay. Because, what the goal here is to realize is at the end of the day, there's a reason that I say to stay away from one-time use products like that, water sucker thing that you put into a lake and it makes the water clean. People can use that one time. They're going to forget they even bought it. They'll never shop with you again. You're going to be searching for the next consumer for every single time you ever market and build. The goal here is to also look for repeat consumers. And that's a market, this is the market like that. Now, with that being said, like I mentioned, you need to effectively market this with great, content and obviously hitting all those points. But if done well, you could have a very, very, very successful brand that not only has this particular item, but now you got the elbow strap, you got the kneecap strap, or you got the neck, and you could see how you can brand and build that out and create a sick upsell sequence that is ridiculous. If someone has some ankle pain, they might have knee pain. And I'm going to give them a pre-purchase upsell of knee pain, right? And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm probably going to go ahead and find another product that has the same style of pain, right? To go ahead and particularly make a downsell. If they don't take my upsell, I'll buy the same thing again, right? So there's a lot of ways you could get creative with this, especially with the upsell sequences, because it's just so 1, 2, 3 and chronological, because this is a market and a demandful industry that's been around literally since we've existed, okay? And it will never go anywhere. This is a great market to build in.